And I think that the national level should come near adopting our form of government and have more elected people up there. Because if you stop to think about it, we don't have a single elected official in the executive branch of the government on the national level. The same thing could happen here. And this is taking the power away from the people and in effect saying they're just not smart enough to decide. And I think this is dangerous. And it wouldn't matter whether it was the office I held or not. I will fight just as hard. If they put the treasurer on here and they left off these others, I'll fight just as hard to keep it.
In essence, this putting constitutional offices in the category of a member of the governor's cabinet?
Right, or whatever they want to do with them. They could abolish them, they could change them. And also yesterday in the hearings, I reminded them, if I had been anything but protected under the Constitution when I was auditor in that state docs thing, I would have been fired. I would have been gone so long ago, and I had all of the political machines against me, and it took the Internal Revenue to prove that I was right, and the Constitution is all that saved me there. So I know the importance of being constitutional if you're going to be independent and represent the people.
How else can one account for the continuous stream of unclean, bearded, dope-addicted beatniks and so-called hippies who today represent the product of some of this nation's institutions of higher learning? How does one call this type activity an end of education? How else are we to account for an economic theory that judges waste and extravagance and dependence on government to be virtue, while prudence, savings, thrift, and self-reliance are judged vices? On a higher level of moral responsibility, how else can we account for war after war after war, except from an incredible babble of values?
Yes, it was a good bit of confusion about whether they would use those previously registered applicants or not. And I discussed this morning with Mr. Barth, who is the Deputy General Counsel of the General Services Administration. And he thinks it would be well for them to re-register for the simple reason they would register for state, county, municipal, as well as federal elections. And that is why I had that in the memorandum to the boards of registrars.
Well, could not a law be passed to allow those who are already registered to go ahead and vote in all elections rather than re-registering?
Well, that would be necessary if we use what we have, and they have done that in one state, the state of Connecticut. Mr. Barth told me that this morning. that that's the only state that has done it.
But why cannot Alabama do it?
Well, I imagine on account of the shortness of time. Because the legislature's now well through its 36 legislative days, and of course it takes 5 days to get a bill through. Under the law, the Secretary of State must have some form of proof, or she must be reasonably satisfied that these are qualified voters of the state of Alabama. And from this petition that they have certified to me, for instance, this first page, there are 21 signatures, 9 of which give absolutely no home address, such as a town or a city. So therefore it would be impossible for anybody to check whether or not they're qualified voters, not knowing where they live.
Uh-huh. Do you think there will be court action possibly to get the Communist Party on the ballot?
Well, it could be. Of course, it'll be up to all of the probate judges of the state would have to certify to these names. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what their plan is. I mean, they haven't, they did say it might be court action. Mm-hmm. During the years I have served as Secretary of State, we have had more headaches with election than at any time. Made on you, and I deeply appreciate each of you. Let me hasten to add that I am seeking to continue in public service in another capacity. I earnestly solicit your help and support in this endeavor. Thank you. It has been implied, now just how shall I put it? Shall we say my vast experience somehow impairs me from rendering capable, efficient service? Trust that you do too. I would like to believe that Plato was correct when he said, "He who is of a calm and happy nature will hardly feel the pressure of age. But to him who is of an opposite disposition, youth and age are equally a burden."
Yeah, you sure are. I agree with that.
Out of expense accounts, you got to fill out.
No, I'll vote for you.
No, don't do that.
I think we're all here.
We're all here. Okay. Mabel, am I supposed to fill in these blanks?
No, it's the secretary. I just gave you that, sir.
Okay. Time to vote.
Time to vote.
Okay.
Vote for president and vice president.
Fill in. Let's pass the file down.
How you spell it, Earl? I only vote for president.
Did you put it?
No.
Move the nomination closed.
Second.
I'm not sure what I'm playing that.
Not either.
I'm not gonna.
Well,
I didn't play it. I didn't play it with mine either, good.
Is
anybody gonna challenge these state archives?
yeah, they go.
Okay.
That's the power.
We're lucky we didn't get him joined before we could wait this.
Why do I want to go to Congress? I would like very much to serve in the United States Congress. I have served in these capacities. The opportunity came for me to run for Secretary of State. I never would have run if my husband had lived, but my husband was killed in an automobile accident, and in 3 weeks continued to serve the people, which would be the people of my district, whatever my district is going to be when the redistricting takes place. As you know, that I have always been dedicated to the work that I do here. I would be just as dedicated in accomplishing things for the good of our people. And there's so much to do on this level. When we think of inflation, the high cost of living, the undeclared and unnecessary war in Vietnam, although it said it's going to be brought to a close, it should have been brought to a close before now. And that is close to my heart, of all the young boys who have gone to Vietnam. And of course, many of them have never returned and will never return. And there are a lot of distasteful problems that we can well do without. And I feel that that I can do a good job in those areas.
Are there any other factors that influenced your decision to seek the nomination for Congress?
I have been observing, of course, that I read a good bit and I study issues, and I have a plan, a platform that I would like to present when I do formally qualify as a candidate for a member of Congress, that I would like to present to the people. It's something that has not been done before, and I think everyone agrees that on many levels there's room for improvement. And I have these plans and these thoughts and these ideas, which I believe that I can put into action and will bring results to the people of our district and the state, for that matter.
Could you give me some kind of an inkling what type of plan you have in mind?
Well, I would like, if I could, to wait until I do formally qualify and then present my platform. I don't ever run against anyone. I campaign for the job. I do not take into my campaign the fact of seniority. People who have done a good job deserve to continue to do that good job. Congressman Dickinson, he has been there since 1964. He was elected when there was the Goldwater onrush, and he has been there those times. I feel that I have something to offer the people in this campaign. I believe that the people will listen to the things that I have to say, and I will be campaigning in every area in this new 2nd district with the point in mind of being elected to serve the people of this 2nd congressional district.
It is set out in the statute that as nearly as practicable, we shall place the money in time deposit and in demand deposit equally divided, if practicable, the law says. And if we were to put it absolutely divided in time deposits and in demand deposits, when we have to call on the banks every day for money to pay the Federal Reserve cash letter, we would not have it. Any day, we would never have it on an equal basis. And it says as near as practicable. But since we call on most all of the banks, and practically every one, when we draw on them to pay our bills, the money couldn't be equally divided.
What do you feel your chances are of winning this race?
I will win this race without a runoff.
You served under George Wallace for 7 years, I believe, as finance director. And at the beginning of his campaign, he said that he would not vote for you as treasurer. Will you vote for George Wallace?
I have nothing to say concerning the governor's race because I'm spending all of my time in my race for treasurer.
Do you have any favorite candidate that you... who do you think would make the best governor for the state?
I have no comment whatsoever concerning any race other than that of the treasurer's.